So on this week's Recruiting Roundup, I asked Jordan to give us some names of players that are under the radar, because you'll come in and say, yeah, this player at this school, and I'll say, I haven't heard of him, and you'll say, yeah, you will. So let's start out at Chandler High School, because they always have players. You've got a guy there.
Yeah, and this is a guy that obviously Brandon Buckner getting a lot of attention along the defensive line for this 2021 class, and deservedly so. But on the other side, you have Zion Magalai, younger brother of Nehemiah Magalai, who just signed with NAU, and he is a big-time defensive end, 11.5 sacks. That's second on the team, only behind Buckner. And he's a guy that Coach Garrettson has said the growth will be key for him, and really, already, I spoke to him this morning, already from the end of the year, he's already gained considerable amount of weight. He's nice and long. Wisconsin and Iowa State looking hard at him. They could be his first offer. You
know, you look at quarterbacks, you stop in at Chandler High School, you stop in over at Higley High School. There's several other quarterbacks out there that are going to be recruited late. You see one over at Ironwood.
Yeah, Will Haskell, a guy that takes care of the football in the air. You know, his stats in the air aren't too impressive yardage-wise. It's about 1,400 yards, but 20 touchdowns through the air and just 4 interceptions. That was the same amount of interceptions the previous year, but double the attempts in 2019. So he takes care of the football. And athletically, that's where he really stands out. Almost 1,000 yards, 14 more scores on the ground. And when I saw him play, it was his ability to improvise. When things broke down, he could either really extend the play and make a big pass, or he could tuck and run and pick up big chunks of yards. He has 4 offers: Duke, Iowa State, NAU, and Akron.
So Brock Dew is a player that I've seen up close over at Castile High School. I love his motor. I love him as a player. Off the field, he does everything absolutely right. The thing is with Brock Dew, it's measurables. Is he tall enough? Or his arms long enough? There's some colleges that have that as a question. There's nobody better technique-wise that I've seen in this junior to senior class than Brock Dew on the O-line.
Yeah, he's an absolute technician when it comes to what he's able to do with his body to get in front of guys and really effectively block them. Yeah, the measurables aren't quite there, but it's not like he's running around at 5'11" or anything like that. Like, they're still pretty good measurables. He also wrestles, has a high GPA. He's doing all the things, especially off the field, that will help set him apart. And there are already colleges taking notice. He has offers from NAU, Oregon, Yale, San Jose State. I know that he's gone to Cal. He's checked out USC. A lot of Pac-12 schools are interested. So I think as he continues to really work through and develop as a senior, that 6'2", 280 frame, they could find a spot for him along the offensive line in a big program.
I had somebody tell me he needs to wear cowboy boots when the colleges come to town, just so he has that little extra inch. All right, over at Saguaro High School. How can anybody get overlooked over there? But that happens.
Yeah, we know the usual players that we've talked about each and every week, the Quentin Somervilles, the Bram Waldens, the Denzel Burks from this class. But Alani Maafu is a guy that really jumps out to me, a defensive tackle. And one thing that Coach Mons told me is he's a skill position guy trapped in a defensive tackle's body. He's an elite rugby player. He plays at the national level, so he can really get after the quarterback. Had 3 sacks last year. He has an offer from Wazoo and Memphis. Coach said Oregon, Kansas State, and Mississippi State also looking at him pretty hard. Obviously, a lot of Washington State's coaches are over in the SEC at Mississippi State now. They're trying to make inroads there. And he's a beast in the weight room. They said he did max this past week on the bench press, hit 315.
Wow. Give me a player in Tucson, the Tucson school area that people are missing. They'll hear about 6 months from now. The offers will be there.
Yeah, we saw some traction for him this time last year, but Stevie Rocker, the running back over at Canyon del Oro, he's just dealt with some injuries that has really slowed him down as a junior. 370 yards last year. As a sophomore, almost 1,200 yards. And Bijan Robinson deemed him the next great Tucson running back. I saw him at the All-American Combine. He looked really good. He already has offers from Nevada, Cal, BYU, and Arizona. So I think if he has a healthy year especially, you'll see those numbers pick up. You'll see what he can really do and make some big plays.
Now, these are just a few of the players. There'll be many, 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 many more out there over the next calendar year as we get ready for the 2020 class to sign in December and the late ones in 2021 of February. That's this week's Venezia's Recruiting Roundup.